That is pretty. This is what I'm here for. This is a marinated steak forward taco experience. It is absolutely delicious. I knew out the gate when I was talking to Brad that I needed to have some sort of experience with a steak taco and a flour tortilla.
Pretty much.
We're gonna do that, but what is this, a salad? Are we making a smoothie? What's with the vegetables, amigo?
It's the first step. Don't worry, there's steak. So
Okay.
cutting up all the vegetables into some strips. We're gonna marinate them because we're making fajitas.
That's right.
Something I like to do is marinate the vegetables. It makes a world of difference rather than just throwing them directly on the grill. So we'll cut them into some strips, and then we'll throw them in a nice little Ziploc bag.
That's efficient. It's very efficient there. Look at that.
Yeah, thanks. It helps to be able to cut everything into strips. Poblanos aren't near as friendly as bell peppers, but you can use any kind of mix of vegetables that you like. Well, I guess these are technically a fruit. But anyway, you can use any kind of chilies that you like. I like to have a mix. So we've got the sharp and sweet red bell pepper. We've got some like earthy poblanos.
Yes.
I use a sweet onion as well, but sometimes I'll use like a red onion. That works as well. You can put serrano chilies, jalapenos, something for heat. So it's kind of funny because with the vegetables, you can really have that whole spectrum of everything.
Yeah, you can switch it up.
Yeah.
So we're going for like light on the spice, but there's a little bit of heat there because of the jalapeno.
Yeah, and I'll
definitely
add the
getting
seeds.
the earthy because of the poblano peppers.
Yeah. And it's funny, anytime I don't leave the seeds in, the comments start flooding. They're like,
oh, really?
What are you, a wuss? You know?
Oh,
I got kids too. I don't like to go super heavy with the amount of onion. To be honest, I normally just cut half of one. But I mean, if you love onions, go for it. It's not going to hurt you. So with today, we're going to be cooking some pretty authentic cuts, and they're real thin. So it's not like you don't even have a choice.
have the option,
You know, it's going to be super hot, super fast. So, I mean, you get what you get. So this is really easy. You don't need a lot of ingredients to marinate the vegetables.
Okay.
I just do a little bit of oil. I'm using a neutral oil, about a tablespoon or so.
Okay.
And then that'll also help when we throw it on the comal, because I'm not going to put it directly on the grill. We'll have that flat pan.
Okay, so it sizzles.
Yeah, so you got to have a little fat.
Okay.
And then red wine vinegar. And if you don't have red wine vinegar, you can use lime juice, but I think that the lime juice in this way does not outshine the red wine vinegar. It's almost like that salad feeling. It really makes a big difference.
Red wine vinegar is just more intense. So
It is.
Bring it up.
And,
bring it up.
And a little bit of salt. If you want, you can add pepper in here too. It doesn't take much. It's really, really simple. And then we just throw it in a bag, kind of get most of the air out, and we'll shake it up a little bit. And then the longer that you let this marinade, which I recommend at least 2 hours, but if you go longer, the flavors get even stronger.
Oh, really?
The vegetables and chilies will start to cook. So I wouldn't go too long. Overnight's probably a little much. I think this is a great recipe where you can get this all set up in the morning and then cook in the afternoon.
All right, cool. So these marinate for just a couple hours.
Yeah, let's go get the meat.
All right, let's do a little steak action. Oh my God, look at all this meat. So you can't do steak taco without a little meat. Meat's expensive these days, Brad.
It is. So I wanted to talk about carne asada and the fact that it really doesn't have to be a specific cut. You know, we see all the fancy people on, Instagram using skirt steak.
Outside skirt, bro.
Yeah, right. Wagyu this, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you go to the Mexican markets and it's whatever's thin, whatever's cheap.
Yeah.
And if it's got more fat, it's good. So we've got like a cross rib section here that I bought. I got a couple of these that are really thin. And the nice thing is that they'll marinate quick as well. So, and then this one's nice. This is a flap.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a little bit more like a skirt steak. What do they call this in Argentinian?
Vacío.
Yeah, that's right.
Vacío.
Yeah, so this one's going to be a little bit more flavorful, where this one might be a little bit more like, I don't want to say tough, but it's just going to have that a little bit more of a bite texture.
The beauty is when you're grilling this and then chopping it up, the idea of ideal texture has changed. Conversation's changed because Johnny Knife's gonna get in there and go, "Oh, you owe me money. Why'd you do that, Johnny Knife? Oh my God, look what you did to my brother."
And you're really into this, aren't you?
The beer hit. The beer hit.
First off, why don't you cut open that orange, and then I'll have you cut the limes too. I'll squeeze those out.
Okay.
While you do that, I'll add the rest of the ingredients. So I do add a little bit of brown sugar in here. It just helps with the caramelize.
You like the brown sugar.
You know, it just helps this caramelize because we're cooking so hot and fast.
Yeah.
You might laugh at some of the other ingredients here. So I do add a little bit of soy. Okay.
No, that makes sense.
Not that funny.
Oh, I thought you told me to laugh at this.
We'll add a little bit of soy.
Okay.
And then here's the kicker. I always get crap for this, but I learned this from a Mexican chef. Just a splash of fish sauce.
Fish sauce.
Yeah, it adds just that little bit of umami, not much.
Or
just
lot
like
of
a
umami.
teaspoon.
Yeah.
It does. And you know what? It is, if you normally would use like Worcestershire, this is kind of that, but times 2 with the intensity. It's really, really
and
good.
Worcestershire has anchovies. Technically, it's a fish sauce.
It is a fish sauce. So then what I like to add some chipotles in adobo. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons. Sometimes these come whole. So if they come whole in the adobo sauce, just mince those up. And then I am actually going to chop up some scallions too.
A little green onion action too.
Yeah, it just adds a little bit of that pungency.
Yeah.
So if you don't like green onions or you want to have even more pungency, you could add either some shallots, some garlic. It's just this has that kind of nice balance of something. It's a little grassy, a little bit of pungent. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm such a good helper.
You're so good. I'll give you a gold
I feel like
star.
it's like I'm on the Good Morning America segment. Like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, what's that? What do you got in there?
We're gonna add some salt. It's not too much, and then just a little bit of oil because this kind of helps everything emulsify. And then again, when it hits the grill at that high heat, it's gonna really liven up. And then the one thing I love to add.
You're gonna chug a beer.
I'm gonna chug the beer. I'm just kidding. No, we're gonna do about a half cup. And then why don't you go ahead and squeeze the oranges in there?
I thought you were gonna say, why don't you go ahead and finish the rest of that?
Why don't you drink the bag? No, squeeze the oranges in there before we seal it up.
Jesus, I was so, look at me.
Yeah,
what am I thinking here? Ready?
Not a gold star,
Let's go. All right.
There you go.
That's my good rest.
The arthritic hands doing their job.
You want to see if old Lefty can do it?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that motion's okay.
That's not too bad.
Must be a radial nerve tear. I don't even know what that means.
This is not an overnight marinade. Both of them side by side, the veggies and the meat, I mean, just a couple hours. It's a really thin cut. And it just absorbs everything like a sponge.
Gets it real quick.
Yeah, so you don't need long. This is something that you saw, like we just prepped this in, 5-6 minutes or something like that. And then put it in the fridge, grill it up in the afternoon.
4 hours. Yeah. All right, cool.
Not a big deal.
All
so let's get the grill fired up, and then we'll start off with the veggies and some tortillas, of course.
Because we're going to kick this in.
Yeah, and then we'll hit the steak at the end.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
So what I'm gonna do, because we have to toast tortillas, it's super important.
Agreed.
And you can see that these are nice and see-through.
And flour tortillas. Flour tortillas, because we're in Arizona.
Super, super key. So we're gonna toast these for just a couple seconds on each side. It really doesn't take long. You just don't want them to be cold. What we're gonna do is we'll cook the veggies on here next.
Yeah.
And then after the veggies, I'll actually remove it all so we can throw down on the steak. So I'll just go ahead and dump them out, kind of watch out. Oh, that smell. Can you smell all the flavors too?
You know, it's really interesting, like, just being around it, I get hungry smelling that hardwood charcoal burn, and then just knowing that those vegetables are gonna get a little bit of blackening. I'm already expecting the tang from the red wine vinegar to just kind of kick it up a notch, you know?
It's this hot on purpose, not just because I wanted to sear the veggies and the tortillas. Steak's coming next.
And that's got to be hot,
It's so
hot.
thin.
Yeah.
And we got to try to get it hot so that we can get some good caramelization.
Man.
I'm just going to go ahead and throw it right from the bag onto the grill. Woo! I'm not going to shake off the marinade. It's just more flavor. And you can see that it's going to start, I know he's all excited about this. Going to start getting color really quick.
That's impressive.
Because it is hot. once it starts releasing like this, that's when you want to flip. Because with these thin cuts, you do not want to
Can I flip? Ooh, let me flip. Let me flip. Let me flip. Let me flip. And by the way,
yeah, thank you. Thank you. We almost ruined everything.
Oh, dude, first of all, that's tight. For something in a wet marinade to get grill marks like that, that is a hot grill.
In about 30 seconds, I'll probably end up pulling it off. This one, this was the flat meat, so this has a little bit more fat to render. Well, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop it up all together and have like a nice combination of textures too.
Dude, so I'm excited. That is pretty.
I'm gonna let this rest while we move the grill, get everything else set up.
I came here hungry. I'm not leaving hungry.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, cut this. So remember, this is the flap steak.
Yeah.
So I will cut against the grain on this one. The other ones don't really have a grain because it's so thin.
Yeah.
But this is, like I said, very similar to like a skirt steak. Just cut.
And are you gonna keep it in strips?
No.
You're gonna chop it up.
For fajitas, that really does mean that you should serve everything in strips, but I'll cut them a little bit smaller.
You wanna have an easy bite. You wanna get all the flavors, all the elements, and it's just crushable. As crushable as possible.
I know.
You know? I love the mix though, man. 2 different beef cuts, very cool.
No, it's really important. So here, I'll dress up a tortilla for you. And then don't forget, we've got the rest of the ingredients as well here too. So why don't you grab those red tongs over there?
Red tong.
Yeah, we'll grab some of the fajita vegetables and fruits.
Yes.
I know chilies are fruits.
You know what? I'm gonna go with it. They're vegetables to me. They eat like vegetables. They don't eat like fruit.
Now here, this is classic. So you got to have a sour cream for fajitas, in my opinion. So this is a mixture of sour cream, a little bit of taco seasoning, and then a little bit of jalapeno pickle brine, just to kind of thin it out.
And just a little heads up, if you want to know how you make this, first of all, like and subscribe this video. And when you subscribe to this video, you'll find out about the other video where we show you how to make this. Boom ski. Plugging it. Here we go. So I'm totally being the greedy guest. And I'm taking the bigger one. I'm taking the bigger one.
I want you to have it all.
And it was interesting because usually when I build these, I put the guac on the bottom, then the steak and whatever. But you know, I feel like this is just kind of we're doing it a new way,
A little bit like a paste.
Oh, dude, first of all, this is what I'm here for.
Go for it, man.
Cheers, my man.
I love it.
I can't think about it.
No kidding.
No. I mean, first of all, that's a freaking steak taco. It's absolutely fajita-licious because the vegetables are as much part of the equation. The char on there's amazing. This is a marinated steak-forward taco experience. And dude, good flour tortilla is a beautiful thing. It's been a lot of bangers today, but this was a true taco banger.
Dude, I'm excited to hear it. Thanks, man.